Okay, this is what we're going to do. We are going to be doing math. We are doing math. We're doing math. We're doing math. Okay, so what are we doing? We are counting on the abacus, and what we're going to do is we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then and then what's after 4 is 5. So how do I know is after 5? Well, after 5, right, after 4, because the horizontal bar is touching, these beads are touching the horizontal bar, hello! What we're going to do is we're going to count to 5. So what's 5? 5 will always be the top bead no matter what. 5 is the top bead. What does that mean? Well, when we count, because we're looking at the abacus, the horizontal bar tells me that these abacus is what's being counted. So because the abacus is being counted, we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after 4 is 5. Well, 5 will always be the top bead. So when we look, that is 5. Hopefully you guys can hear me and everything is okay. So 5, and then what's after that is 6, and then 7, 8, and then 9. So then wait, hold on, what's after 9 is 10. So we have 1 and then 0. Just like how we write, we have 10, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now we're just counting. So what does that mean? Well, what we're doing is we're counting on the abacus, and the abacus is a counting tool. This counting tool helps me do adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Hello. Hey, Kendall and Neon. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And what we're going to do first is we are going to learn to read the abacus first. So when we learn to read the abacus, we can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 5. How do I know this is 5? Because this horizontal bar is what counts the beads. When counting the beads, we need to understand this is the horizontal bar. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So then what's after 9? Well, 9 is 10, right? How do I know where everything is? Well, this is where we start talking about place values. On the abacus, we actually see where the place value is. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000. So the other question is, why am I starting here in the middle? Kind of in the middle, not really in the middle, but kind of in the middle. The reason why is because I have this indicator. This dot that we see, there's a dot right there. That indicator tells me that this is my ones column. So what we're doing, and let me focus in on that. There we go. So this is the dot. That dot is my indicator that this is my ones place. So now when I look at it, and it makes a little bit more sense, I can count to 9 on this one column. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Notice that all the beads are touching this horizontal bar. So I have 5, and then 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So after 9, we have 10. Well, what's 10, Lynette? Well, 10 is the next column over. So just as we write, we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. Oh, wait, I see another dot. Well, so this specific abacus has 2 dots. Now, why is there 2 dots? Because it also helps label the groups. You can use either dot. You can use this dot or this dot. It doesn't really matter. It just matters which dot you want to deem as your ones place. Just like naming a child? No, not naming a child, because you can't change the names of a child, right? So anyways, this is where you get flexibility. So what does that mean? Well, this can be the ones, then this would be the tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make sense? Anybody have any questions? 9 and then 10. So notice that the 10 over here is the same as if I said the 10 over here. So because the dot over here is because we are looking at our dots, and that would be our ones place. Let me know if anybody has any questions. We're just counting right now. We're just trying to see what we have. So if we know how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Love how I'm paying attention, unlike my school. Yeah, you should be paying attention to your teachers if you're in school right now. I'm just saying. So this is 5. Oh, this is blurry. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Okay, make sense? Okay, so we're going to start figuring it out. Well, what happens when I do this number? That number. What number do you think this is? If I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, let me know in the chat what number you think that is. Let me see if I can get a better look. Is that better? That looks better. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of trying to figure out how to read the abacus for right now. So in the chat, what number do you think this is? 400, Cosmo Planter. It's 500. Yes, Ghost. Yay, Ghost, welcome back. I don't know if the same Ghost. Queer Enjoy, and then Harps. Yes, 32. No, not 32. We're going to remember that there's the 5. So there's a top beat. When we see the horizontal bar, thank you. Yes, it is 5. It is almost 23. It's the same Ghost. Welcome back, Ghost. Okay, so remember that we have our horizontal bar. Our horizontal bar will tell us which beads are being counted. So this is 5, right? So all the top bead is 5. So if the top bead is touching the horizontal bar, that's 5. So then we have 2. So this is 20. And then this is, no problem. I figured that's what it was. Yep. You know why? Because we don't recognize that there's always a top bead, right? Because it's something different, right? So, and I gotta stop saying right a lot. That's like one of my filler words. I have to, okay. Ones, tens, hundreds. So we have our top bead, which is the 5. So it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if the top bead is touching and where it is. It just matters if it's being counted. So we have to pay attention to the columns when we talk about it. Ones, tens, hundreds. So we have 523, right? Make sense? All right, let's do another one. Okay, let me do this one. Let's do another one. Let's do this one and then that. And we'll do like that. Okay, what number is that? Hello there, welcome. Okay, what number do you think that is? We're just going to be learning how to read the abacus. That's all. That's all. I used to learn this when I was in school in Japan. Yeah, Bree, right? So you must be really good with your abacus and stuff. It's really amazing, like, how people don't know abacus. So the answer is yes. It's been a while, right, Bree? Yeah, it's been a while. Like, my kids, they all know abacus. But for me, I've been to it. Okay, so what do we have? We have 130. Ooh, close. I don't know. No, you do know. Let's take it slow. We have 8,000, right? How do I know? Because it's 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 0. So here in Cosmo Planter, we have here, this is the ones. I'm sorry, this is the 0. The 0 because there's none of the beads are touching the beam. There's none of the beads are touching the horizontal bar. So this is why this is 0. And then here is 3. So you almost got it. 3. How do I know? 1, 2, 3. There's none of the beads are touching the rest of the horizontal bar. And then there's 6. How do I know? 5, 6. So when we count, we know that the top bead is 5 and the bottom bead all have a value of 1. But we don't count these ones because they're not touching, they're not connecting each other, right? Yeah, right? Easy, simple to use, easy to understand. So when we start understanding how to read it, then it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, right? Not a problem. Good job, Chops and Harp and Ghost and more Chops. Okay, let's do another one. Yeah, are we ready for another one? Okay, I'm going to clear my abacus. To clear my abacus, I'm going to tilt it and I'm going to move all the beads up like this. Okay. Whew, thank you for the follow. Okay, so we have, what number is this? This one, this one, this one, this one, and then that. Ooh, what does that mean? We're going to continue on. What number do you think that is? I should have some ambient music somehow. Let me think if I have to figure out some music. Okay, what number do you think this is? How are we doing? We're all understanding? We're okay? Okay, let me know in the chat what number you think this is. Ooh, Harp's got it. Ooh. Okay, now what does that mean? Yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So what does that mean? Okay, we're gonna look. We know exactly, exactly. We have a decimal there. How do we know? Because if we say that this is our ones, right? We have our ones, we have our tens, we have our hundreds, and we have our thousands. Now, what's after the ones? Just as Chops mentioned, just as KR mentioned, there's the decimals. So we have our tenths and we have our hundredths. So when we look at it, we have 600, 6,400, 0, 3, whoa, 3.9. Why? Oh, that doesn't look good. Now, why do we have this? Just as we have our decimal, when we write, it doesn't take a place value. But when we look, because we have this as the decimals, yes, Melissa, good job, Chops. You guys are doing really good. So because this is the ones, anything after the ones would be the decimal. So this is where the decimal would lie between the ones and the tens, ones and the tenths, and then we have the hundredths. Make sense? Easy? So we're almost there. We're almost there. So this is why, oh, I have to go. See you later, Chops. Then no problem. I'll see you in my next live. Okay, so we have our ones and our tenths. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Because, I mean, just like we do with money. So when, if like, let's say I pretend that this is money. This would be 90. So it'd be 90 cents. Let's take it another step, right? Just like we have $2 or $3.25. Same thing. So it'd be $3.25. $3.25. That's why I start in the middle. Not start in the middle. This is why I start where the ones is, where that indicator is, because then I can do cents if I choose to. But this is a smaller abacus, so we would have to accommodate. You could get a bigger abacus, which is this one, and this is a bigger abacus. This is 13 columns. Let me make it bigger. So, so this is 13 columns. This one is 7 columns. And I usually use this one for the smaller kids, for younger kids, because it makes a lot of sense. It's just colorful and it's pretty. But the idea, they work exactly the same. The only difference is one is colorful and one is not colorful. Sometimes the color gets a little bit overwhelming. Thank you so much for the follow. Sometimes the colors get a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes we get tired of the colors. So, after the kids finish with what does it mean by finish? When they get tired, right? So I would probably stick with the colored abacus for about a couple of years, and then I would graduate them to this. Now, it would take a few years to complete the whole abacus, just like it would take a few years to go through grades 1, 2, and 3, right? We all learned. The white paper made it nice. Oh, right. The white paper made it nice. Okay. It does make it pop a little bit. So, thank you so much for the comment. Okay, so having said that, in the 13 column, abacus, what I would do is I would start in the middle. So then we would have all of these numbers to be big numbers, and then all of these would be our decimal numbers. Make sense? So then what's going to happen is, if you notice, this one has the group separators, just like how we write. So when we write, just like as we write, we have the commas. There. Okay, so just like we write, we have our comma. So if I did my comma like this, we have 6,403.90 cents. So that's what that means. Make sense? So when we're reading, so let's take it another step. Let's take it another step. Here. Let's do this one. Where's my scenes? Does that work? All right. Okay. So if we're working with this number, what number do you think this is? Right, this one right here. Maybe I should make it bigger. Okay, yeah, there we go. What number do you think that is? Let's do that. So here, if you notice, there's my indicator, my indicator that this is my ones. So if this is my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands, what number do you think this is? Let's see if we can figure that out. So Harp says 915023. So let's count. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 100, 50, 0, 20, right? Point 5, 6, 7. We have, oh, that's not good. Go back, go back. Where did I go? There we go. So yes, we have, that's the answer. 100. Yeah, cool. Is that all right? What about, oh no, that's not good. We gotta redo it. Where's my, there we go. Okay. Missed the decimal. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that one. Can we do that? What number is this? This is something new. It'd be interesting. Okay, we're talking about this one right here. So again, I have my indicator. And this is a picture, just like what? So this is actually I'm making a book, and so I'm actually creating the answers. So what is this number? 800, 8,000. We have 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 0, right? And then 3, yes, and then 1, and then 2. Exactly. That's what I got. That's what I got. Oh, maybe I should make it smaller. All right. All right. Are we okay? So we understand how to read the abacus. Okay. Okay. We all understand how to read the abacus. Let me move to back to here. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually start learning how to add. When we learn how to add, what it is we're moving beads. So what does that mean? We're just moving the beads. So here's my question. If you notice, so the first thing we did is we understood how to read the beads and how it relates to the numbers. We're okay? Anybody have any questions? Anybody questions? Bueller? Anybody have any questions? Okay, so I'm going to continue on. We are going to start adding. So the reason why we're going to add, I mean, these are simple numbers, but we're going to use them because we want to be able to see the numbers. We want to be able to see the beads. Thank you so much for the hearts. So we want to see the beads. The reason, and so I'm going to start from here, and I am going to, because it's easier to see if it's like that, right? So my question is 1. So when we move the bead, we just move the one bead. Thank you, Harps. Thank you for liking my life. Thank you for liking my life. So we are moving the bead. We add the 1, and so we add another 1, and my answer is 2. So we understand how to read the numbers. Now what we're doing is we're going to learn how to move the numbers. We're going to learn how to move the beads. So when we learn to move the beads, we just keep going. So here's my next question. So I have 2 over here, and so I'm going to put 2 on the abacus, and then I'm going to put 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 1. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? I'm just going to continue on adding first, and then after we figure out how to add, we're going to do subtraction. No answer? No questions? Okay. So as we go through, we understand that we are going to continue to add. Make sense? So even with this question, we have 3. So we have 3, and then we add the 1. So we have 1. So my answer is 4. It gets into the bigger numbers, right? Bigger numbers like this. So here we have 7. Hey, Odie Bass. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. We're just doing some adding right now. We're doing some adding, and then hopefully we can get into multiplication, division, but it all depends on how the group goes. So for right now, we're doing our adding. So this is again what we call simple. The reason why it's called simple is because we have enough beads to add So if you notice, this is 7, and my question is to add the 1. So I'm going to add the 1 like that. So then everybody in the chat who is with me still, what number is on my abacus? What? Yes, thank you, Harps. Thank you, Harps. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Thank you, Liz and Cosmo. Anyway, okay, so that's the simple thing. That's the simple thing about adding, right? We're just moving the beads. It's super simple. Simple to use, easy to understand. So obviously what we're going to do is we go through. In this book, can you explain how 7? I'm new to this. Oh, hey, Darlene. 7. Okay, so let's do that. Oh, I see that. Oh, I see the 3 beads. Oh, no. So what's going to happen is we focus on this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar, thank you for letting me know. Don't worry, I'm going to continue. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we're going to count on the abacus. So this is an abacus, just so you know, I'm not being condescending. I'm just stating what it is. So this is an abacus. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on the horizontal bar. This is my horizontal bar. This horizontal bar tells me which beads are being counted. So what does that mean is that when I do this, I know that the 1 is being counted. I have 2, 3, 4. Thank you for the time. Oh, no problem. No problem. Because people come in and out, and some people, we just have to, hopefully the other people have the patience. But yeah, I'm okay with explaining it again. So we have 4. How do I know that this is 4? Well, I know it's 4 because all the beads are connecting. So we worry about all the beads connecting. But why? Why am I here? Because if you notice, there is a dot. This is an indicator. This indicator tells me that this is going to be the 1's place. This is awesome. I got it. Right? Easy, right? Simple to use. Easy to understand. All right. So then my question is well, what happens to 5? Like I don't know what happened to 5. Let's just not worry about 5. Well, we got to worry about 5. We got to worry about 5. What is 5? 5 is the top bead. 5 will always be the top bead, no matter where we are. This is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, that's 5. All these top beads, when they touch this horizontal bar, that is 5. Now it just matters what the place value is. What does that mean? Well, just as I mentioned here, the 1's is my dot. This dot is my indicator. I can't wait to teach my son. We can learn together. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, totally, right? Yeah, I truly believe that abacus is the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and you would continue on to do multiplication division with the abacus. Okay, so we're here to 5. Why do I do this? Because this is my 1's. This is my 1's. This is my 10's. Just as we write 10, we have our 10's and we have our 1's. We have our 10's and 1's, just like we write. So we have our 1's and our 10's. So I'm going to do 1. What is this? This is 10 now. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14. So yes, exactly. Just like we write, right? Just how we write it. So we have, this would be 20. And then this would be 30. So abacus mimics how we write. So when we write it, here's a question. No, let me do 20, right? We have 30. So we have 30. It'd just be 3 and a 0. And then 40. We have 4 and a 0. And then after the 10's, what's after 10's? It'd be hundreds. So after hundreds, it'd be that, right? 140. Liz says, I always wanted to learn this, but never understood it. I'm so glad I'm finally understanding it. Yeah, right. It mimics the place value. That makes sense. That makes so much sense. Yeah. That's the secret. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. That's not a secret. That's just the way it is. Because it's like, well, what are these things? Because there's another abacus. I don't know if you know, but there's another abacus that goes across like this, right? So, and there's like 10 beads across. Now I'm just trying to like mimic it. There's 10 beads across. It doesn't really do place value, but this sort of abacus does place value. So, as this question is, we have our two dots. We have 6,403 point. Why is this point? Because our decimal sits between our ones and our tens. So because the decimal sits between our ones and our tens, we have our 9 and we have our 0. So if I was to put this in a money form, this would be 6,403.90. Make sense? Right? We're okay? So what I was doing was what was I doing? I was adding. Right? So what we're doing is we're right now the first thing we need to do is we need to understand how to read the abacus. When we understand how to read the abacus, then we can do adding, subtracting, multiplication, division. But the first thing to do is we always need to understand how to read the abacus. So notice the 5, this is the 5. And we can count. Oh, we can do rounding. What do you do if you get into the thousands that reach the dot? Well, if you need more, you get a bigger abacus. So you just get a bigger abacus. That's what I would have to do. I'd have to get a bigger abacus. What about the workbook you were working on? This one specifically focuses on preschool abacus math, and it is available on Amazon. And you can find it with my name. My name. That's my name. That's my name. Sorry. Preschool abacus math, and you can search for it with my name. That's the workbook. And so what it is again, what we're doing is we understand how to read the beads, and then there's activities to understand the beads and how everything goes. And then I have a link in my bio, yes, for a calendar that I need to update. So what I did was I created a calendar that talks about, and then you can also see my website from my link in my bio. And I need to find the calendar. I made a calendar. I'm trying to find my calendar. Okay, I'm looking for my calendar. I can't find my calendar. Did I put it here? I didn't put it here. Okay. Well, there was a calendar I created, and it's abacus based. And here it is. I am all things abacus. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to abacify my everything. I'm trying to abacify. So going to look at the workbook. So if you want to, in my bio, there is a calendar, and it's an abacus calendar for this year. I got to update it for March, but this is the idea, where I have prompt questions, and you can ask your child, what is today and so forth. And I give you an example of what the calendars are, what the calendar is with the abacus. Now, if you look, this one is 4. We have February. We're done with February. We're in March. So we're in March, and I got to update my calendar, which I'll do today. The idea here is that they can color in the abacus just to get used to it, just to get used to looking at the numbers. And then I have two ways. So what does that mean? Well, I have a simplified abacus where if the child if there too many beads get complicated. Because if you notice, this is 14, but it's really kind of a lot for the kids to see. So you might want to use a simplified one. And this is just making sure that the counted beads. Yeah, thank you so much, Darlene. Thank you so much for looking at my workbook. So, if you want, there's this calendar in the link in my bio, and if you look, this is 14. I wrote this as 14, or you can have it the regular abacus. So it's up to you. And then I got to do March, but that's what this is. And so I did each month. So, okay, yeah. So the book, and my link and so forth. But yeah, that's what it is. Great calendar. Yes, thank you. I'm just trying to. Okay, so the question was, what's after? Oh, I'd get a bigger abacus. So the question was, wait, what happens after the 10,000s, right? Sorry, I'm changing my camera. So before I continue, if you notice, there's the two dots. There's this dot here, and then there's this dot here. The difference is it just depends on what you want to do with the dots, meaning you can choose any indicator to be your ones. You can be your ones here, or you can be your ones here. So why did I choose this? Because then I can have these bigger numbers, or you can go here and then you'd have all these as decimals. So that's the thing, right? So either you have the big number, you can have ones here and you have a lot of decimals, or you can have ones here and you have a bigger number. Now with the 13 column one, I would, depending on how young the child is, I would graduate them because they want to feel like big people. I would graduate them to the 13 column ones after a while, probably when they get into bigger numbers, when they do adding and subtracting. So after that, then they can start going into, depending on where where they want to start. So now, if I start in the middle, because this is 13 columns, if I start in the middle, I have my ones, tens, hundred, thousands. Notice I have my grouping. The dots help me group. So I can go here and I know that's my thousands. So I have my thousands, 10,000, 100,000, and 1,000,000. Let's say you wanted more. Let's say you needed more digits. Well, I can actually go to the very end of the column, and notice there is my dot at the very end. So this could be my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and it goes all the way to trillion, because that's what 13 columns is. The same concept is here. If you use your ones over here, you can have all of this as your decimal place. Make sense? All right. So we are going to continue on. Anybody have any questions? Thank you so much for the calendar. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No more questions. I'm going to continue on adding and subtracting. Because we can add. We can add on the abacus. So this one, so the way I broke it up is because I wanted to focus on the add-ins. I didn't want to focus on the result. In the lower grades in elementary school, I noticed that what we do is we tell the kids to focus on the result, which means, let's make an 8. Okay, let's make an 8. So on the abacus, we have 6 plus 2, right? So on my abacus, I have 6. Whoa, that's not 6. I have 6, and then I want to add the 2. So I add the 2. So in abacus, what we do is we focus on the actual add-in. We focus on the add-in, which is adding this 2. Notice here, I have another 2 here. So this is 7, and then I want to add 2. And then this is what we do. So if I did this, my answer is 9. Again, we don't focus on the add-in. We don't focus on the result. We focus on the add-in. The video that I was watching, they were like, okay, we know what 8 is. Whoa, we know how to make an 8. And then they're like, okay, here's the next question. So here's the next question. The next question was 7 plus 1. But notice I now had to flip because we focus on the add-in. So we're changing the add-in. So we have 7, and then we add the 1. So we have the 1. And my answer is 8. Whoa, okay, 8. Not a problem. The next question was 4 plus 4. Now in abacus, thank you so much for the rows. I'm just looking up right now. Now the problem is we don't have enough beats to add the 4. Now we start going into understanding what formulas are. What is a formula? A formula is, now we got to figure out how to move the beads a little bit. So we have a 4, we don't learn our doubles. So the question is 4 plus 4. We don't learn our doubles. What we do learn is the concept of how to make a 5. Now, in the chat, please let me know, what are the ways to make, what 2 numbers do we need to make a 5? Yes. Hey, good morning, Ethan. Good evening, Ethan. It's very late for you. Yes. Thank you, Ethan. We're gonna take 2 numbers to make a 5. Yes, a 2 and a 3. So we're gonna do 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Yes. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Easy, right? Not a problem. Not a problem. So what we're gonna do, so in school, this is all they teach us. That's not a problem. But what abacus does is we actually take it and we make it a little bit, we utilize our addition sentence. So what does that mean? What we're going to do is we're going to isolate this variable. When we isolate this variable, we're going to isolate this 4. Why? Because our question is this 4 plus 4. Our question is 4 plus 4. We don't memorize our doubles. So, thank you, Liz. Thank you, Lusangu. Yes, and May. Okay, so what are we doing? We're going to isolate the variable. What we're going to do is we're going to take this 1 and we're going to move it to the other side of the equation, the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say plus 4, because that's what we're doing. We're plussing the 4 is equal to plus 5 minus 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute this sentence into here. Why are we going to do that? Because if you notice, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4, right? So here it says plus the 5 minus the 1. So we're going to add the 5 and we're going to take away the 1. And that's a formula. That is something that we have to memorize. So now my answer is 8. But the problem is now we got to work with formulas. So that's why we don't memorize our doubles. What we do memorize is our formulas. So here is again. We have 4. We don't have enough beats to add the 4. What do? We have to plus the 5 minus the 1. So we plus the 5 and we take away the 1. And my answer is 8. Hey, Lady E. Welcome. I see you. And Odabas and some others. Okay, so you add a different kind of 4. I did add a different kind of 4. Yes, I did. I forgot how you do for 100. Yeah, not a problem. So let's take it one step further. We have 3. No. We'll do 2. We have 2 plus 4. Now we could learn our doubles. We could do 4 plus 4 minus 2. We could do that. Or we could do abacus. We have 2. There's not enough beats to add the 2. Because we already know how to do our formula, we're going to plus the 5 and take away the 1. So then my answer is 6. So the question is, Ethan, 100 minus 8. Woo! That's a big one, Ethan. We're ready. Are we ready for this? All right, let's do it. So does anybody have any question on what I just did first before I go into more different math? Because Ethan always wants to advance. My teachers dropped the ball on me in elementary school. Aw, that's so sad. That's not good. Before I continue on, because Ethan always wants to push the class forward. Ethan. Okay, so could we do distributive property? I'm having trouble with that. Yes, we can do distributive property. This would be in multiplication. So when we do distributive property, it's in multiplication. So distributive property. Property. We could do a simple multiplication one. Let's do that, and then Ethan, I'll keep in mind about this one, minus 8. So, what are we going to do? Okay, so in Abacus, I'm having trouble with negative and positive. We don't do negatives in Abacus. What we do is we have formulas that we have to memorize. I'm not sure. Oh, good. Thank you, Ethan. We're going to do actually 13 times. I'll keep that in mind when we do double digits. But for right now, let's do 1 digit. So, what are we going to do? 13. Oh, so Abacus doesn't, I don't memorize anything above 9. The 9 times table. So the question would be like 13 times 7. We could do that. 13 times 7. So the first thing we're going to do is, this is what we would do is distributive property. What does that mean? We're going to take this number, we're going to go over here, and we're going to times it. And then after that, we're going to go to that. We will have partial product. The first thing we need to do is figure out where we're going to put our answer. So why are we going to figure out where we put our answer? Because when we're on the abacus, we always work from left to right. We always go from left to right, because when we talk, we say 13 or 23, 2 and 3, 23. So when we look at this, we want to know how many digits are in our question. We have 3 digits in our question, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go to our third column. I'm going to start here at the ones because my indicator tells me that this is the ones place. So we have our 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start at the hundreds. When I start at the hundreds, then I'm going to start multiplying it out. This is what we call distributive property, which is part of an abacus term. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 times 1 is equal to 7. 7 is a single digit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this is a double digit. So when we convert this into a double digit, you'll see that there's a leading zero. Because there's a leading zero, we're going to put the 0 here, and then we put the 7 over here. So I'm going to add my 7. So then what's next? Well, we're already done with this 1. Now we're going to do our 3. Our next question is 7 times 3 is equal to 21. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add 20 and 1. Notice when I talk, I say 21, not 120, right? That's why we go from left to right. Just as we talk, we say 20, we say 1. So my answer is, what's my answer? What's my answer? Anybody know what my answer is? Thank you for the follow. Yes, 91. Thank you, Ethan. 28. Not 28. 91. Yes, Odebas. Yes, Lucina. What? What? How? Because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 1. So this is my 1s. This is my 10s. So when I look at my 10s, this is 9. Because it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then my 1 bottom bead. And that's 1. That's how. I just see dot. I don't know what dot means. Yeah, right? But then it just goes back to understanding how to read the abacus. That's all it is. When we understand how to read the abacus, then everything is golden. Well, there's more to it. But, so that's what distributive property is. Distributive property is when we start taking it apart. We don't say, for here, we don't say 7 times 10. We don't say it. Because why? Because the abacus does it for us. So when the abacus does it for us, we don't need to say 7 times 10. We just say 7 times 1. And that's the other thing is with our math facts, we don't, well, you memorize our tens. But that's what this is. So let's do one more. We can do our double digit. Again, what is our starting point? Because of the 0. Because of the 0. What 0? When we say 7 times 1, it's not because of the 0. The 4th column. You place the 7 in the 1's place instead of the 10's place. Oh, yes. Yes. I placed the 7 in the 1's place instead of the 10's place. Yeah. Because of the 0. So what it is because it's a single digit and I want to convert it to a double digit. When I convert it to a double digit, now I have a leading 0. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, when it's a single digit, we always have to go back 1 column. But when we're reading it, we'll always go from left to right. So it's easier to go that way. Yeah, it gets confusing to go the other way. So let's try this one, right? Let's try this one. So Ethan gave us another question. The first thing we do is we figure out our starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our starting point will be at the 4th column. Our starting point will be at the 4th column. And I'm just readjusting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're here. Now, the first thing we're going to do, notice this is my distributive property again, right? So abacus does a lot of distributive property. What does that mean? We have 2 times 1 and then 2 times 3. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do 2 times 1 is equal to 2. See how it's a single digit? We got to go back 1 column, right? We go back 1 column, we add the 2. And then 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Again, 6 is a single digit. You go back 1 column. That's just one of the rules. You go back 1 column. So what we could do here is we're done with the 2. Now we have to reassess. When we reassess, we need to figure out what numbers are left. We have 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start on the 3rd column. 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 1 is a single digit. I go back 1 column and I add the 1. 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 is a single digit, and I go back one column and I add my 3. So, my answer, let me know what my answer is. What is my answer? What's my answer? What about the 2? Is that a single digit though? Yeah, the 2 is a single digit. The 2 is a single digit, so I go back one column. So that's why my answer is here. What is my answer? We can do it again. Oh, the best. 273. Exactly, right? Makes sense? Easy, right? Simple to use, easy to understand. Let me know if you have any questions. Yes, exactly. Makes sense? So let's go back to the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I go 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 is a single digit, so I go back one column. So I'm just reiterating, right? And I add my 2. What are the dots on the what are the dots on the bar for? It is to indicate where our ones is and the grouping. So when we have it here, this will be my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands. So it's also nice to indicate where my group separators are. So just like as we did 1,348, so we could do 1,348. Once it becomes natural, it makes math blazing fast to do mentally. Yeah, right? It's so crazy. I wish I learned this in elementary school and middle school. Yeah, Brittany. Sorry. You would have to live vicariously through your kids. Yes, we did not learn this. It is, I feel like it's easier, but I do live vicariously through my children because they know it and they hated it. They hated Abacus, but you know what? It was good for them. It was good. It was good for you. It's good for you. Eat your vegetables. It's good for you. So, okay, you know what? That sounds great. Let's do another bead recognition. Let's do a bead recognition. Oh, where was I? Here is the beginning of my book. So, what number is this? Because now we're at a picture. You see me move it. Now the thing is now we're looking at a picture. What number do you think this is? Here, if you notice, I have my dot. I have my dot indicator here. So this will be my ones, my tens, my hundreds, and my thousands. Truly, my kids are going to learn this. Yeah, right? When I learned it when I was old. And then I taught my kids. My what it was is my dad went on a business trip and had this brilliant idea to start a business to teach children how to do abacus. And then he, as other Asians do, my dad, he's Chinese. He was like, "You're gonna learn abacus," and I'm like, I don't know what abacus is. Why do I need to learn abacus? But as I go through this journey, it was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. All right, so what do we have here? We have 5, 6, 7. So we have 7. Good. We have 2. Good. We have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2. Yes. And then we have our dot. Yes. Good. And then we have our 12. 1 and a 2. You know, just so you guys know, this is going to be my answer key. I'll show you the product later. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. While I do this, I'm going to have everybody do this. Okay. So what age should I start my child to learn abacus? I started to teach my children 3 or 4, 4. Depending on how far along your child is, you could start them with, at 3. And what it would be recognizing the beads and the numbers. So I have a student that is 4, and what we're doing is we're only, oh, sorry. Let me show you my book. So here is the book that I created to help preschoolers. And the idea was to start them at 3, 4, and 5. And what it is just to show how to recognize the number. So we have our item, we have our number, and then we have our abacus. And it goes through just to do a bead recognition. Like this is 4, find all the fours. This is, here's a maze. And it doesn't matter how they do the maze. It was just the idea is that here's the numbers, and then here you would have to find where the abacus is, and then write the numbers. So, if it depends on how eager your child is to learn. In other abacus school, we start at 5, but I felt like we should start earlier. So that's why I created this one so far. I have a bunch of other workbooks. I also have a bunch of worksheets that I'm going to be publishing as well. Great visuals. Oh yeah, thanks. And so here is how to count, and this was supposed to be trying to be different, right? Color the correct number of animals, because I have it here. This is my abacus, and then I have 2 on my 2 abacus, and then write the number 2, and I wanted to get them to trace. There's a lot more tracing in my other worksheets. This was my very first thing, and so here was like what comes before, what comes after, and I try to talk about relationships. So after I talk about the relationships, we start going into adding and subtracting. So this book goes all the way to adding and subtracting, but we go to add simply, meaning we only need to move the beads. So here is the question, 7 plus 1. So I have my 7, and I add the 1. The idea is to show that there's the 1 bead right here. Make sense? Okay. Thank you very much for the hearts and the follows and the yeah, and the questions and the comments. So does that make sense? So in school, it's interesting. In school, they focus on the result, whereas on Abacus we don't focus on the result. We focus on the add-in. So here I sectioned it off. So every number is the add-in. So this one is to add the 1. How do we add the 1? So it's 1 plus 1. The 1 is what we're focusing on. So the answer is 2. Here is 2. 2, again, plus 1. So I have the 1 right here. So my answer is 3. We don't focus on the result. We focus on the add-in. So the other question in the story, in the video, was 6. 6 plus 2. So we have 6. And then again, the reason why they were focused on the 6 plus 2 is because they were focused on the result. So I add 2, and this is the 2 beads. But notice I went from adding the 1, then I added the 2. So then the final question was 4 plus 4. I was like, oh my God, really? So in school, we teach the children to memorize what 4 plus 4 is. But in Abacus, we don't. We don't learn our 4 plus 4. We don't memorize 4 plus 4. What we memorize is the concept of how do we make a 5. So we make a 5, we do plus the 4, 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, and then we utilize it. How do we utilize it? What we're going to do is we're going to isolate the variable, we move this 1 to the other side of the equation, and then we rearrange it. This is the formula that we need to memorize. Plus the 4 is equal to plus 5 minus 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the 4, that's the first number. Now we're going to add the second 4. The second 4 is we're going to plus the 5 and take away the 1. So we're going to plus the 5 and take away the 1. So then my answer is 8. But again, that is a separate thing, because now we're working with our add-in, which is a plus 4. And I'm looking for my book, if you're wondering why I'm over here. So, after learning the simple plus and minus of the plus and minus, then we go into simple. Why do you start in the third column? I started in the third column because I have my indicator. My indicator is the dot right here. So this will be my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000. That's why. So going back to here, I have the plus 5, and plus 5 we start talking about how do you add a 5. So notice again I focus on the add-in. Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. Hey Hugh, let me know if you have any questions, because sometimes I go into a little thing. Let me know if you have any questions. We can continue on. So more of my thought would be like this, right? We have 2. So again, I focus on the add-in. Not me, but Abacus focuses on the add-in. So when we're doing this, we want to do 2. Okay, so Hugh, the reason why I'm starting over here is because my indicator. Notice I have an indicator, the dot, so I can go here or I can go here. This one, I'm going to go here because it's just easier to see. So now, right, makes sense? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 4. When I add my 4, notice I don't have enough beads to add the 4. I have my formula. Plus 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. So I want to plus the 5. Because the children are small, I added a little story. The little story here is I have 5 cats in a tree. I'm going to go to the 5 cats in the tree. I'm going to add the 5, right? I grab 4 cats, but 1 cat runs away. So 1 cat runs away. So then my answer is 6. So that's the reason why I have cats in a tree, because it's to help visualize how much to add the 5. So we go to our cats in the tree and I add the 5. Does that make sense? And so after we learn learning our addition, Abacus has a framework, has a pattern. So if you notice, we started with adding simply. What does that mean? That means that if I added this 1 plus 3, I have enough beads to add the 3, so I'm going to add the 3. Then we have our 5s. We just made a 5, right? Where was it? It was 1 plus. So there's these ways to make a 5. Well, this is what we do is we add the 5 here. This is why we have 4 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 2 plus 3, 3 plus 4. These are all adding the 5. This is all utilizing the 5. So just as we said here with the 2 and the 4. Thank you so much. Hey, Daisy, welcome back. Are all the pinks are all adding the 5? Yes, yes. So these pink is all about adding the 5, using the 5. Welcome back, Daisy. Good morning. Okay. So this one here, this blue or green, like to me it's green, whatever. This here, this different shade, like it's either blue or green. These are all simple. And then here, this yellow, now we're going to be making a 10. What is making a 10? Just like making a 10 in school, and we're trying to relate. Thank you so much for sharing my live. So in school, we're teaching the children how to make a 10. So when we make a 10, we do 2 plus 8, right, is making a 10. Or 3 plus 7, make a 10. We even do 4 plus 6. That's how we make a 10. Well, again, just as we make a 10, we're going to utilize it. And that's what this is. We're going to make a 10. So let's do 9 plus 4. No, let's not do 9 plus 4. Let's do 9 plus 8. We'll do 9 plus 8. 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9. Why? Or 8 or 4 plus 8. Yeah, okay. Okay, let me think. So the question is 4. We have our 4. I'm going to add 4 to the abacus. What's going to happen now? I'm going to add my 9. Do I have enough to add a 9? No. So what do? My formula I have to memorize is plus 9 is plus the 10 minus the 1. Just like making a 9, just like making a 10. So the concept to isolate the variable is very similar to what we did with the 5. Oh my gosh, too many books. Too many books. So the concept of making a 10 is very similar to making a 5. Make sense? When we do it, I'm going to make a 10. I'm going to make a 10. I need to make a 10. So when we're making a 10, we call it, in Abacus world, we call it big friends, we could call it family, or what have you. In school, we talk about making a 10. Make a 10, right? It's part of the 10 frame. What is a 10 frame? It's a frame that has 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And what happens is I want to know what 9 is. So if I do 9, so I color in these ones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Notice I have one base. Base what notation? I don't know what that means, Kim. So here is 1. So when we look at it, we do 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. All right, that's how we make a 10. We're showing kids, we're teaching our children how to make a 10. So in this concept, we're making a 10. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate this variable. We're going to isolate this 9. We're going to isolate this 9, move this 1 to the other side of the equation. Why are we doing that? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to add 9 from 4 plus 9. 4 plus 9, notice on the abacus, I don't have enough beads to add the 9. Yeah, because I have 4. You said you have 7 rods with 5 counters. What is the notation you use to count on each sequential rod? I have 7 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the counters and what notation is the place value. So when I look at it, I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000. So when I'm looking at my abacus, it already provides a place value on the abacus. When we look at the abacus and any of the beads touching my horizontal bar, this is my horizontal bar, these beads are being counted. Whether or not I'm doing this indicator or this indicator is where I deemed as my ones place. So I have my ones, I can name this as my ones here, or I can name my ones over here. So the notation, I guess, is going to be place value. Did that make sense? Those are really big words. Sorry. So going back to plus the 10. Oh, going back to this. So what we're doing is, so the blue is thousands. The blue is not thousands. The blue is 5. So when we count it, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. No, I'm going to be here. When we count it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 5. So we have 5, 50. How do I know? 50, 500, 500, 5500, 5500. So the top bead will always be 5 no matter what. Then I do this one. This would be 50,000, 50,000. So when we're looking at this would be 60,000. If I look at it here, this would be 20. So this is my tens, my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000. So when I look at this and I add the top bead, this would be 70. And then there's my 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, and then 85. Does that make sense, Kim? So what does 609 look like? On this abacus, I would use this as my ones. So it'd be 609. If I had my other abacus, which is my 13 column, I can do, if this is my ones, 609. If I wanted to, I could be over here, 609. Move over to blue, green, then singles, blue, and all up. Yes. Yes, but it's not all up, actually, because what we're doing is we're squishing it. So we have the 2 beads. Notice the top bead comes down. That's being counted. So we squish them. So this would be 608. Because when we do up, that means we're taking away the 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it together. So we got to squish them together. When we subtract, we push them apart. So I'm still waiting for the, okay. I'm still working. I still got to do the tens and understand the tens first before I talk about the 800 minus 9, 100 minus 8. So that's 99.9, and they're all up. Yes, exactly. We squish them all together. So 9999. That would be 9,000, right? Because of my indicator, 9,999. But remember, we squish them together. When we squish them together, then they're all counted. It really matters on this horizontal bar. When this horizontal bar is touching the beams, that's when we know they're counted. But it depends on if we're squishing them or not. We call them, yeah, squish or non-squish. Squish or push apart. We're okay? Okay, so I'm continuing on with, okay, we're almost done. We're going to continue on with the adding of the 9. So, again, I'm going to rearrange this. So I'm back to here, right? If we're okay, we're still tracking. So I'm going to rewrite it. 9 is equal to, plus 9 is equal to plus 10 minus 1. Now, I'm going to do 4. The question was 4 plus 9. So I have my 4 and I add my 9. There's not enough to add the 9. What does this mean? What is this? This is another formula. Plus the 10 always means go to the next column. Thank you so much for the hearts and the snowflake keychain. Woo! Thank you so much. So the 10 always means to the next column over. Doesn't matter. Just that's what it is. The next column over. So plus the 10. So we're going to add the 10 and we're going to take away the 1. And we take away the 1. So then my answer is 13. Make sense? Okay. So why do we need to do this? We need to learn and memorize our making of the 10. There's making of the 10 and making of the 5. Just as the pattern is here. The pattern is making the 5 is the pink. Making of the 10 is the yellow. Yeah, not a problem, Daisy. Not a problem. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm going to continue on because Ethan had a question. So Ethan always likes to push the class up ahead. We're going to be doing some two-step equations. The question is 100 minus 8. Now, why is this going to be complicated? Because we just learned this. What's the next thing we're going to learn? We're going to learn how to take away 8. Minus 8 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 2. If we add, we subtract. So because we know how to add, there's an addition to this, right? Yeah. So plus 8 is equal to plus 10 minus 2. Notice there's the inverse. You add, you can subtract it. You subtract it, you can add it, right? So it's not like learning doubles where it's only one way. Learning doubles is only addition. There is no subtraction doubles. So in Abacus, we want to be versatile and we want to be relevant. So what are we doing? What we're going to do is we're going to put 100 on the Abacus. We have 100. We have 100 on the Abacus. Now, just as we have it here, we're going to take away the 8 from the ones column. So we take away the 8 from the ones column. Thank you so much for the follow. Hey, Hugh, welcome back. Take away the 8 from the ones column. What are we going to do? We don't have enough beads to add the 8. We don't have enough beads to take away the 8. This is where this comes into play. We know that if we want to take away the 10 and we add the 2. But we don't have any beads to minus the 1. This is where we get two-step equation from. Two-step equation means there's another way to minus this 10. Minus the 10 is the same thing as 1 and minus 1 is kind of the same. The only difference is knowing whether I go to this column or not. So what I need to do is when I want to minus the 1, I want to minus the 10 plus the 9. Okay, let's sink that in a little bit. So let me rewrite it. I want to take away the 8. So to take away the 8, I need to plus the 2 here. I'm going to plus the 2 here. I'm writing small because I'm trying to line it up to my columns. Make sense? So I want to plus the 10, minus the 10 plus the 2. I need a minus the 10. I need a minus the 10 here, but I can't. So I have to add this. I have to substitute this in. So I'm going to plus the 9 here. And then I'm going to take away the 10 here. So I'm going to take away the 10. So this is minus 10. Does that make sense? So minus the 10 plus the 9 plus the 2. So I take away the 10 plus the 9 and plus the 2. So what I did is I took my 8 minus the 10 plus the 2. I substituted this with that. So I rewrote it. Minus 8 is equal to, no, doesn't equal to. Well, in this case, it does. So it's minus the 8 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 2. But because I don't have any more beats to minus the 10, I have to minus the 10 again plus the 9 plus the 2. So that would be the different columns that I just did. Plus minus the 10 plus the 9 plus the 2. So, does that make sense? Hey, Dandelion, welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. I should have some music. I have to find some music. Sound effects. Nope, that's sound effects. Make sense? Oh, I don't know if anybody heard. Did you guys hear that one? Woo! Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, right? I'm not saying that you're not going to get it like right away. Thank you so much for the goat. It's going to take some time in the process. Yeah. That's what it is. We get an idea. But see, doing a two-step equation, is like more advanced. So we just went from 0 to 100 because that's what Ethan does. Ethan really pushes everything over. So, but when we go back, we go something small, right? We do 4 plus 9, right? To make a 4 plus 9, I flinched on the client. I was zoning out. It shouldn't be that loud. I made it, it should be not that loud. Maybe I'll make it like 20. Let's do that. I like the sound effects. It's kind of cool. All right. Right? Makes sense? So you start, when we start, that's why that's why there's the books that I created to start small. And so here, it's not to trivialize the foundation or the fundamentals. So we go in and we start understanding how to utilize the formulas. So again, we can go back to understanding how to do the 5, which is not a problem because, it's when the 5 is solid, then you can go to the next one, which is the minus 5. After the minus 5, then we do the plus 10 and then we do minus 10. But here I have a bunch of, activities that we could do. So this is a color by number. This one was, so we're talking about 5. What we're going to do is we're going to add 9. So we add 9 on here. And then we take away the 8. So we take away the 8. And now we want to add the 4. We want to add the 4. Do you remember how to add the 4? This is so now what we're trying to do is we're trying to go from working memory to long-term memory, because this will become ingrained. As you start remembering how to add the 4, it's plus the 5 minus the 1. So then my answer is 5. And then I just color it in. Color by number. That one or this one is the maze. I like the maze as well. I did a maze. Let me see if I can get a better angle at the maze. There's the angle at the maze. So what are we doing here? Same thing. So we do 8. We do 8 and then take away 6. So we take away 6. Easy, right? Because there's enough beats to take away 6. And then we have 3. We add the 3. Okay, we don't have enough beats to add the 3. What do? This is where we have to know our friends formula, how to make a 5 formula. Remember, we make a 5. We go to the cats in the tree. We grab 3 cats. 2 cats run away. So my answer is 5. So then I colored it in. And that's what I did. That's what I did. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Okay? We're okay? Ethan. Ethan has an abacus in his username. All right. Anybody have any questions? No more questions? We're going to continue on? So that's what, I mean, this is what we do. We solidify the fundamentals. I'm coming. I'm getting the workbook for myself. Ah, that's funny. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Brittany. Yeah, makes sense, right? It's simple to use, easy to remember. It is available on Amazon. Okay, so then, there's the pattern for the addition table. There's a pattern for the addition table. This is the pattern for the subtraction table. Oh, dandelion. Okay, so let's do some bead recognition. Let's do some bead recognition so we can, this one. There we go. Let's do some bead recognition. What number do you think this is? I thought this was kind of cool. So dandelion, what it is I'm just starting to work on my. I'm just starting to work on my Abacus book for adults. So this is what it is, and I'm actually working on the answer sheet, and we're doing it together. Brittany, okay. So Ethan says 600. So 6,000. This is 6,000, right? We have 400. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 0 because none of the beads are touching. And then this is 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we forgot that there is a decimal because we have our indicator. This is our dot, or this is our ones indicator. Ethan is correct. We have 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And so that is the answer. Oh, nice. I have thoughts. Yeah, right. So that's the answer. Right now we're doing the answer sheet. So to show what I'm doing, this is my one page that we're doing right now. We did 4 today. That's awesome. Thank you. This is a cool skill. Yes, I forgot about the decimal. Yeah. So, and then I have this one, which is this is still reading the abacus. And so I have it where I explain, this is the beginning of the book. So I explain like how to read the abacus. I put in words, I put in what it looks like. And then I slowly introduce the numbers. And then from here, I go into the decimal places and I have the ones indicator. And then I have my hundreds. And then we go into thousands with decimals. And then now we have our worksheet. So let's do one more. What number is this? Yeah. Brittany, just so you know, when I started with the whole abacus thing, I thought it was just going to be for the kids, but apparently there would be like adults that wanted to learn too. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm actually in the process of creating an adult introduction to abacus book. When will it be done? I'm thinking it's going to be a couple of weeks at least. So Ethan says 9,614 point. Let me see. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 and 6. This is 1. This is, I love these pictures. Oh, good. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 0. So we have our decimal because this is our dot indicator. And then we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, Ethan is right. Ethan is right. No, I am wrong. See? Before I print it. Yeah. Good. Great. So, yeah, when I started doing my lives, in the very, very beginning, what I did is I actually went through all of my worksheets in my book, in the Plus 10 book, and I felt like it was a really good exercise for me to edit because it's difficult to find an editor to be able to do this. So I had to edit my books. So before I publish it, I want to make sure I have the questions correct and all the answers are done. And I went through I mean, there's still minor edits, but is these for your upcoming book? Yes, this is my upcoming book. So this is what my book is starting to look like. So this is what it looks like so far. And then I'm going to have my adding and subtracting, and I'll go into I don't depending on how big the book is, I'm not sure how if I'll go to multiplication division. But yeah, I just started my book. I started a couple of days ago. And then I give out the answer keys. Yeah. So let's do one more. Let's do one more. Because I have one more column. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it works well. I do hope it works well. Okay, so what is this number? So again, my indicator is, here's my dot. What is the answer? You tell me. Thank you so much for the goat. Thank you, Dandelion. And Daisy. Thank you, Daisy. Ethan says 825. So let's see. 800, 5, 6, 7, 8, 220, and then 5. Point. I forgot. You don't need to. Yes, Brittany. Point 2, and then 9. Dandelion, we have a 2 here. 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So here's the thing, right? Like, my husband's like, well, it should be colored. I'm like, you know, the reason why I did it like this is I wanted the adults to color it in, and I thought that was good. I thought that was a good touch. You color it in to help you to see the beads. So if there's this, right, this is what it would look like. So you would have to color it in, and I was like, I'll do that instead. So then we have the answers. So that's what this is. These are the answers. Ta-da! 825.29. Yeah, that's a lot. It's not a lot. It's only, it's a lot to make. This is 20, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 18 questions here, and we have 12 questions here. So, but you know, it's going to be a book. But that's the thing. I had it here. So, whew, all right. We're back to here. Anybody have any questions? What am I doing? I'm looking for my paper that I did. Oh, so I printed it out. And then that's where the epiphany came from, to color it in. So I did this last night with a bunch of people, and I'm like, you know what? I like the idea of coloring it in. So I have it where you have to color it in as a user if you buy the book. I like the idea of coloring in ourselves. Yeah, cute characters makes me, yeah, right? Disney adult here. Yeah. So I think to be interactive as well. I don't think it hurts to be interactive in this case, because when we look at it, we kind of gloss over things. So I think if we color it in, it'd be easier to recognize what was being done. So like this is like a lot, right? It's a lot. But let's say we color it in. I'm going to use purple. So again, this is the thing. I'm going to color it in. So I have 1,900, 900, and then this would be 6, and then this would be 7, and then this would be 3, and then this would be 2. So then when you look back at it, you'll be like, oh, I know how to read it. I know what I'm doing because you did it. You know what I mean? I just guided you. That's all. Hey, Elena. Thank you so much. Eliana. Make sense? Yeah. I think it's going to come out okay. We'll see. So throughout the next of the lives, I will continue to show parts of my book, and then I'll get it published. I think I'm going to do. I normally do, my books are usually about roughly 100 pages, but it also includes answer keys. So, like this one is my 5. I have an answer key at the back. So just in case you don't know what it is, you can go back and see what the answers are. So, oh, yeah. So that's it. I mean, that's all I got. That's cool. I have an abacus and started to learn a few years ago, but I haven't been practicing. Ooh, Ileana, really? What kind of abacus do you have? Do you have this kind of abacus, or do you have the other kind of abacus? I assume you have this one. And why are you learning it? What made you learn it? Was it because the parents force you? I forced my kids. You're missing out. Woo! Um, Eliana, did your parents tell you to, or did you just pick it up? Oh, that's a big one. No, just for fun. Oh, it's a big one. Oh, so it's a teacher's one. Like this? Like this? Like a big one? Like this? Okay, do you have practice for the 5s and the 10s? Yes, I do. That's what the books are. So that's what these are. The 5s, this is the 5s, so in the 5s, but I didn't do it for the adults yet. This is still for the kids. So for the kids, this is where I did this. Oh, it's not as big. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, okay. And you just did it for fun. She just did it for fun. So there's the 13 column one. Oh, in the new book, yeah. It will go to 10s. It will go to 1s and the 10s. So, Ileana, is it 13 columns or is it 23 columns? 27 or 7. Well, no, it's not. It's a bigger one. So yeah, dandelion. There will be 5s and 10s. It will be numbers. It won't have graphics like this. 23. Ooh. Yeah, that's this one. Mine. Yeah. So you know how to use the abacus, Ileana? I wonder if there's the 30. There are different columns. I don't know if there's a 30. A 30 is a little long, I think. But I'm sure they make it if there's a specialty. But I wonder why they would have it. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. So, Ileana, do you know how to read? You know how to read the abacus? Do you know how to use the abacus? Yeah. So that was the thing. So in the adult book, it would be adding. It would go to add the 5 minus the 5 plus the 10 minus the 10, and it would go into the 2-step equations. So it would be. Where is my? It would include like stuff like this. So what I have was right now it's this is just still the draft. This is what it looks like for adding the 1. When we add the 1, this is still a draft, but I'm going to have like adding the 1 and then going to 5 and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, because adults, we can go faster, right? I just need to give you the questions. What it is just making sure that the questions are sound. So we'll probably go through that and then I'll publish the book. But yeah, we'll see how that works. It's kind of crazy. Like there will be a lot of people. I have to go. I'll be back. Yeah, not a problem. Not really. I know the basics. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. I'm always online. I'm always going live. So I will see you in my next live. Bye. But I don't know how to use mine. What? You don't know how to use it? Break it out, Ileana. Let's do it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Bye. I'll see you later. Bye, Brittany. Okay. So, hey, Mel, I see you. And Ingresos, I see you. Thanks for finding me. Woo! I'm live all the time. Lady E, I know you're there quiet. You're quiet. Hi, thank you so much for liking my live. Okay, so Ileana, actually, I've checked. It's actually 17 rows. That's a good size though, because you can use bigger numbers. So this one I usually use for the small kids because the numbers are not so big. But then I would graduate them to the bigger numbers, and then that's where they would do it. So the first thing I do is understand how to read it. I'm hoping I'm not. You know what? I'm going to just tell you how to read it. Let me know if this is too elementary. But the idea is to know the basics, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to understand that this is my horizontal bar. This horizontal bar lets me know which beads are being counted. Because I know that this is being counted, I have 1. Why am I teaching? Why am I here? Because I have my indicator. You will notice on yours, there's an indicator. That's what the dot's for. This dot tells me that this one is going to be my ones. You could use any one of the dots, but they're group separators. So if I use this as my ones, I know this is my thousands. Just as we write thousands with a comma, because it's easier to see with our eyes, we break it up, right? Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah. So the dot. So it doesn't matter. You could be here or you could be here. But know that the dots also help indicate where you are. So if I'm here, this is the thousands. Yours will have it in 3. There's the ones, the tens, and then the million. I'm sorry. The ones, the thousands, and then the millions. Just as we write it. When we write, we have $1 million. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We have our commas. That's what the indicators do. The indicators help us break up our numbers. That's why we have the commas. That's why we have the dots. So when we look, what's after the ones? After the ones is our decimals. So we have ones, just like how we have money. So if my ones is here, I have my tenths and my hundredths. So when I do $3.25, I do $3.25. And it's the same thing with the bigger one. If I have my ones over here, I have my decimals over here. My decimals. So my tenths, my hundredths, my thousands, and it just keeps going. So it just depends on where you indicate your home will be, where to indicate your ones will be. So it doesn't matter where it is, it's just there for you to utilize. So it's like, like a ruler or whatever. Okay. So, Ileana, do you have any questions about your abacus? We can start counting. I mean, we just counted, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can pick up where to work from. You can pick, yes, exactly. You can pick anywhere you want. That's how flexible it is. It doesn't matter which one you want to do. Just, it helps you track the numbers, because when we go through more addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right, having these will help keep track of your numbers. So we have 4, and then this is 5. So notice I have 5 here. This is 5. That's 5. This is 5. That's 5. All the top beat is 5, no matter what. The top beat is 5. Because the top beat is 5, this can be 6. How do I know? Because it's 5. The top beat is 5. 6. The value of 1 is 6. The bottom beat has a value of 1. So because the bottom beat has a value of 1, this is 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Notice you can decompose. Decomposing is a kindergarten skill. And that's what we're learning we're teaching the children, to break down the numbers. So in Abacus, it's easy to break down the numbers, because if I do 4 and I take away the 5, and they notice this is 9. It's a 4 and a 9. So in Abacus, we naturally go to our simplest form. We decompose as much as we can to go to the simplest form of adding and subtracting on the abacus. So after this, we have our ones, we have our tens. So this is 10. So when we count, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, and then 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 69, 79. Make sense? So then we have our 100, 200, 300. That's it. So that's how you read your abacus. Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Let me know if you have any questions. We were just doing some adding and subtracting. We also did some multiplication and some double digit multiplication, and then we did some two-step equations. But yeah, but it was a little bit about my workbook that I'm working on and so forth. So, wow, there's still a lot of people here. How often do you go live? I go often, often. Sometimes once, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times a day. 3 times a lady. Oh, that's a wrong one. That was a Kenny Rogers song. Or oh no, was it Lionel Richie? 3 times a lady. I think it was Lionel Richie. Whew, back in the day, right? I just want to learn more so I can. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for the follow. Um, yeah, I go live pretty often, and then depending on the class, depending on the group, we can go into adding, subtracting, and then we go into multiplication, division. If it's Ethan, then we push everybody forward off to the ledge. Ethan, he gets all these crazy numbers, and then I mean they're easy to do for me, but I've been doing abacus for about 20 years, 20 plus years, and I've taught a fair amount of people. I don't know. I wonder. I probably taught maybe 5 or 6 people in our TikTok live. Okay. Dandelion, do you have any questions? Stitching, ingresos, Iliana, Odibase. Sorry, Odibase. And Ethan and Daisy. Any questions? Oh, Daisy, you wanted to know how to do multiplication, was it? Or was it division? My audio, no sound detected because I'm not talking. All right. Daisy? I don't know if Daisy's still around. Daisy, no questions for now. I have to go. But thank you. Taking my time to you. Yeah, not a problem, Liana. I'll see you in my next live. All right. I know Daisy had a question. Can you do simple division? Yes, let's do simple division. All right. Let me find some questions. Okay, we'll do this one. Thank you for the follow. Okay. We'll do 45 divided by 3. The first thing we need to do is understand this is the divisor, this is the dividend, right? This is the dividend. This is the divisor, divisor. So we are dividing 45 into 3 parts. So in school, that we can start doing long division. In abacus, we will do what? We will figure out what we need to do is we need to figure out where we're going to put our answer. To figure out where we're going to put our answer, we need to calculate. Just like we did our multiplication, we added the digits. In division, we subtract the digits. So we have 2 digits here subtracted by 1 digit. So 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So our starting point is 1. That's where here is. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our dividend on the abacus. So we do 40 and then 5. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to compare. So we found our starting point. This is 1. That's our starting point. Now we got to compare. Compare. What are we comparing? We're going to compare our 1 digit, our divisor digit, and our 1 digit on the dividend. Oh, E. So divisor is the S. The dividend is the E. So here, 3 is the divisor, and then 4 is the dividend. So which one is bigger? Thank you, sweet treat. Yes, the 4 is bigger. So I'm going to do that. Because the 4 is bigger, we can take away 3 from 4. So we're only going to use the one column. We're only going to use this one column. But we got to skip a column. So in Abacus, we have to skip a column. So now I'm here. Because we skipped this column and we're going to take away this one column. So we're only going to take away from this one column. What is the question? The next question is 3 times what is equal to 4 or less? The reason why we want to say or less, because we're taking it away. So just like we did in long division, how many times does 3 go into 4? So it'd be 1. Yes, thank you, sweet treat. Exactly. So what does that mean? Just like I do 1 here, I'm going to put my 3 here. On the abacus, I put my 1 here, and then I take away 3. My answer is 1 here. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Well, we got to compare again. We're going to have a conversation with our question. We're going to compare. 3 is our divisor. 3 is our divisor. Now, what is our dividend? What number is our dividend? Our dividend is here, right? If this is our dividend, we're only going to compare the one number. We don't do 2. We do the one number. Our dividend we have left over. We only compare the one number. So, and it's not 5, actually, because this is still our dividend. So we're only going to take this one column right here. We have 15. We have to break 15 to just the one digit. So our dividend that we're going to compare is 1. Does that make sense? Thank you, Zeta, for the question. But no, it's not 5. Does that make sense? We're only going to compare the one number, which is 1. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're okay? Okay, I'm going to continue on. So, who is bigger, our divisor or our dividend? One column at a time. Correct. One column at a time. Because it gets overwhelming for me and then I just kind of shut down. But one column at a time, right? So what are we going to do? Who is bigger, the divisor or the dividend? The divisor, right? The divisor is bigger. Notice the divisor is bigger. I cannot take away 1 from 3, right? Now we're going to get into negative. We can't do that. That's not what we do in Abacus. So what we do is we got to bring down the 15. Now we do 2 columns on the abacus. Because we do 2 columns in the abacus, because 1 and 3, right, you can't take away. So we got to bring down the 5. So the question is 3 times what is equal to 15 or less? Oh, I wonder if Dandelion's still here. 5. Exactly. 5. So what does that mean? I'm going to put my answer 5 up here. So I put my answer 5 up here. And I take away 15. Take away 1, take away 5. So my answer is 15. Make sense? Yeah, we're okay? Yeah, cool. Thanks, sweet treat. Is Dandelion still here? Because I started modifying my lesson because it makes more sense when we do long division as opposed to looking at it on the abacus. 306. Hello. So, whew, Did we skip a column to keep the numbers separated? We only skip the column when the dividend is bigger. If the divisor is bigger, you do not skip a column. It happens right next to the dividends. So we only skip a column if the dividend is bigger. That's the only time you skip a column. But yeah, that's something that we would have to memorize too. That's a process. That's a rule. That's a rule. If it's one, if the dividend is bigger, then we skip one column. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good call. Because I forget to say what if we're skipping or not. Just like sometimes I forget to put in my dividends on my abacus. So the only reason why we use the abacus is to track our numbers. You do the calculations in your head, right? Just like as we talked about it. We do the calculations in our head. Oh, I missed this one. Oh, you want me to do it again? I can do it again. I'm getting better at explaining my division though. I am getting better. But I do wonder if Dandelion's here. I don't know if Dandelion's here. You want? I'm going to do it again. Let me do it. Do you want to do the same one, or do you want me to do a different one? New one. Okay, I'm going to do a new one. Are we okay with that? OD base. Okay. Let's do. We're going to do. I'm doing. Okay. I'm doing the simple numbers, right? Because if the numbers get too big, then it's harder to manage. So this is not to. This is just to get us going, right? Okay. So okay, we got this one. 58 divided by 2. Soon we'll do physics. Ha 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 ha. Soon we're going to do infinite math. Finite math. Okay. So again, what are we going to do? I'm going to change this, right? It's going to be 2 like this. 5 8. What are we doing? With the same thing, right? The same thing is we're going to find our starting point. We always need to find our starting point. We find our starting point. 1. 1 digit, 2 digit. 1 digit, 2 digit. 2 take away 1 is 1. We know this. So this is our divisor. This is our dividend. Dividend. So what are we doing? We know our starting point is at 1. Our starting point is at 1. Because our starting point is at 1, we're going to be here. This is where our answer is going to sit. I'm going to put our dividend over here. 1 and yes, exactly. Our dividend is going to go here. Thank you, sweet treat. Yes, perfect. So what does that mean? Now we have to compare. We compare our 1 column dividend with our divisor. So I'm going to do S and E. So our divisor is 2. Our dividend, what's our dividend? What dividend do we use to compare? Exactly, 5. So now, who is bigger? Our dividend or divisor? Our dividend is bigger. Because our dividend is bigger, we're going to skip this column. This is the column we're going to skip. And we're going to go over here. Because our divisor, because our dividend is bigger, we're only going to use 1 column. Because we can divide, we can subtract. We can divide 2 into 5. So the question is 2 times what is equal to 5 or less? 2 times 2. Yes, ingresos. Thank you. So we add our 2. We add our 2 here. So what do? We add our 2 here. There's my 4. Over here, I want to take away the 4. There's not enough. What do? Minus the 5 plus the 1. minus the 5 plus the 1. That's still the friends formula. Minus 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. Right? That's something that we had to memorize. Okay. We still have dividends. What is next? What are we going to compare? What numbers are we going to compare? My divisor is 2. We know this. What dividend do we compare? Exactly, 1. Why? Because we have this that we need to compare. So now we have to figure out who is bigger. Our divisor, no ingresos, we only do the one digit. So we have 18, we only compare the 1 digit. We don't compare 2. Yeah. Because if we start comparing 2 digits, then we say 18 is bigger. But that's not what we want. We want to know is just the 1. So the way we have it is 1. When we do 1, now we figure out, do we need to do 2 digits or 1 digit? What does that mean? How many times can 2 go into 1? Can't. So what we need to do is we need to bring down this number and bring down the 8, right? Good night, Ethan. Currently, yeah, you need to go to sleep. Go to sleep. So, because we bring down, right, the 2 digits. Thank you again, Ethan. I will see you next time. So the question is 2 times what is equal to 18 or less? Does that make sense? So 2 times 9. So I'm going to add my 9, and I take away 18. So I'm going to add my 9, I'm going to take away 18. 18. So my answer is 29. Yeah. Make sense? So this is what the abacus is. And those that are joining, this is what we're doing. Right? Makes sense, right? Yeah, like super easy. But the more I talk about it, obviously, the more I can explain it, the easier it is for me to bring it down to like how to relate it to mainstream math. And I think this comparison really helps because we know how to do long division. I just got to figure out a better way to communicate when I start bringing stuff down. That's why I use the different color Sharpies. I mean, we could do more if you want, but that's what it is. Yeah. So for those that just came on board, I know that people come in and out. Let's do some reading again. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the abacus. This is the abacus. Tamira, and Addison, and Deborah, and Crystal. I'm not sure when you guys came in, but let's do some adding and subtract. Let's do some bead recognition. What is a bead? Well, this is the abacus, and the abacus will help me. How do I know if I made a mistake? You have to use a calculator. How do you know you make a mistake? You could do it the other way, right? So let's do the other way. We would have to, just like it's just like in school, how do we know we made a mistake? Well, we got to do the opposite, right? So then we have to do 2 times 29 is equal to what, right? So then we would have to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. 2 times 4, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is a single digit. I go back 1 column, right? And then 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. So I add my 1 and I add my 8. So that's how you would know how you made a mistake. Because you would have to do the reverse. And that's what they teach us in school, right? In school, if you do the division, you have to be able to multiply. If you do the adding, you have to do subtracting. So, oh, okay, yeah. So let's count. So here I have 8. How do I know? All the top bead is a value of 5. So I have 5, 6, 7, 8. So then here, why am I here? Because I have my indicator. My indicator is my dot. This dot tells me that this is my ones place. So my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000. So anything on this side, there's my ones. Hey, Alma! Thank you so much for sharing. So in my ones, I don't see you in my list. I see there's 7 people, but... Oh, and Tamara's still here. Okay, good. Yeah, in my list, I don't see anybody. So, I only see Ode Base, Crystal, and Deborah, and sometimes Ingresos. Okay, so wait, so this is 8. and then when I add this, this is 9. How do I know? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want an abacus now. Woo! But I don't like math. Math is okay. I don't know. Yeah, because it makes it really easy. Just Abacus makes it easy, and just to see the numbers being moved. So this is my 9. The reason why this is my 9, this is actually not 19, this is 59. How do I know? Because this is my 10s and this is my 1s. Why? Because my indicator is my dot. This dot tells me I'm getting one soon. They're pretty cheap. Yeah. If you, wherever you are, if you want to go to Daiso, they're there. There's also on Amazon as well. So here, if you notice there's a dot, this dot is another indicator. If we use this as my ones, this will be my thousands. Because this is my thousands, that's what it is. Just like we do commas, right? Just like we do commas here. Just like we do commas. So in this scenario, we have 6,000. So I know I go here. 6,403 point decimal 90. Why? Because after the ones is my tenths. After the tenths is my hundredths. Does that make sense? Deborah is still here. Crystal, ingresos. Are we okay? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Yeah. So the idea is, okay, because the idea is to understand how to read the abacus. When we understand how to read the abacus, then we can start doing adding, subtracting, multiplication, division. And that's what we were doing. We were doing some division. But the thing is to know what our columns are. So the columns is our place values. And it's easy to see on the abacus. And that's it. That's it. Any other questions? Okay. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go get something to eat because I'm getting kind of hungry. But yeah. Oh, Amma? I don't know if Amma's still here. Do you have any questions? Odie base. Enjoy your lunch. Oh, thank you so much, Amma. You're still here. Okay. Yeah, I don't see my list. My list just says Crystal's here. I gotta go look up at Abacus. I gotta go look up at Abacus. I'm good. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. I mean, let me know if you have any questions. We can continue on. Oh, Amma, I don't know. Oh, Amma, just so you know, I'm starting my new book. This is my new book. Let me show you my new book. This is the answer sheets. We're doing answer sheets. Here. So this is the answer sheet. So I'm starting my new book for adults. And the thing is I was going to get it to color in. So we have this where you read the abacus and I talk about how there's the top bead, which is the value of 5. And I say here the directions is to color the counted beads. So I only want these ones to be colored. And then I have, so this is what 5 looks like, and then this is what 2 looks like. I need to move that over here. So the idea is to color in the counted beads because, so then it makes more sense. So then it's kind of like a coloring book, but not really. And then we go into like doing place values. So here's our ones and here's our tens, and then here's our thousands. And then I have the ones indicator. Taxes are going to be fire this year. That's funny, sweet treat. So here I have where we talk about the tens and the ones, and then I have exercises, how to read the abacus. So this is the abacus, right? How we read the abacus, and then you have to figure out what these are. And then this is the thousands with the decimal, and then again, but this is still the beginning. After a while, we're going to start doing some adding and subtracting. So that's what I was doing here is I was doing that with everybody, and they were helping me figure out like the answers. So we could do that now. So it's this one. What number do you think this is? I don't know if Emma's still around. Hey, MK. Stitching. Oops, sorry. So what number is this? Yeah, okay. What number do you think that is? Oh, stitching pirouettes and crystal. And the real Spider-Man. Welcome, real Spider-Man. Sweet Treat says 5. So we have 5. 0. This is 0 because there's one column here with 0. This is 6. 5, 6. This is 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Point, because this is the ones, this is my indicator of my ones. So point, 4, 4, and then 3. So that's the answer. Ta-da! Almost. Almost. Yep, that's what it is. You want to do another one? We can do another one. So, and then I'll keep going. Okay, cool. So what number is this? Nope, sorry. Yes. Ingresos? Yes. See, with the comma, because it makes sense, right? The comma is helpful to look. It's easy to watch. Okay. Hey, Austin Farber. So what is this one? Again, we have our indicator. This is our ones indicator. Sweet Treat. Amma. Yes, Amma. Why? Because 5, 6, 7. And then we have our 2. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Right? Makes sense now. So this is our 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Point, 5, 6. 5, and then 6. Right? You like that? But the idea is that you know, in the book, you'll be coloring it in. Yeah. 7,298.56. Yeah. So, oh yeah, that was the thing is I was telling everybody, what I did for my previous book was I went live because I needed to edit my book. It's hard to find an editor to do this and also more money. And so I ended up just editing this myself. And so I need to see what the numbers are and what the answers are. And if it made sense, then it would be, then I would publish it. So that was the thing for here. That was the reason why I'm doing this now. And yeah, you'll see the glimpse as we go through. I'll keep showing my worksheets as I go through, and you'll see the making of my workbook. It does take a while though to come up with like the exercises and how I want to format it. So I think it's going to be it's going to take a little time, but we'll see how much I can get through. Yeah. Do we want to do one more, or are we done? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So ingresos. Okay, let's see. So we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and then 8. Whoops. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 7. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 7, and then 6, 5, 6, and then 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, exactly. 4,287.68. Yeah, 3 more left. So maybe I continue on next time. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of good. I think it's an interesting take. Because I noticed like there's Abacus books out there, but they're not like interactive like mine. So I know it's different. It's just taking it slow, making sure it makes sense. You know what I mean? So, and again, yeah, this is like you color it in. So I have the answers. So hopefully nobody's screen recording and then get the answers. But there'll be answers in the back of the book anyways. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm doing answers for the back of the book. All right. Hello. Anybody have any questions? Questions. 360. Oh, there's the next one. Ingressos is really getting involved. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm solid. Okay, good. Cool. So 5, 6, 7, and then 6 food time. Yeah, I'm going to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, good. And then one more. 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, and then 1. Okay, great. And that's it. That's it. Cool. So I'll see everybody in my next live. Have a good day, everybody. What is this? This is the Abacus, Tiffany. What we're doing is we're learning to read the Abacus. And so I need to change to this. Bye. Bye, Amma. Yeah. So this is the Abacus, Tiffany. Goodbye, everybody. One more thing before I go. So we're going to count on the Abacus. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5. How do I know? Because all the beads are touching the bead. So we have 5. This is 5. This is the horizontal bar. We have 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we have 10. And that's it. So if you look, this is my ones, my tens, my hundreds, just like a place value. My ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands. And that's it. But I'm going to sign off, Tiffany. You can, if you can follow me and you get to my next live and you can catch on then. But I'm going to head out. I've been on for about 2 hours or so. I'm going to go get something to eat. So have a good day, and I will see you in my next live. Hopefully I'll see you in my next live. Yeah? See you later. See you later, alligator. Not a problem, not a problem. Bye.